for another mockery of Snow White. So Snow White, if you have not been paying attention, is a big box office failure, one of the biggest in history, and it is dropping 66%. It is dropping as bad as the Marvels did, and the Marvels dropped I think 70%, but this movie still is not gonna make money. There is no way this movie is gonna recover like Elemental did. It's just not gonna do like Elemental did. So there's actually a lot of new releases today. A lot of new releases. There's A Working Man, The Chosen, Last Supper Part 1, The Woman in the Yard, Death of a Unicorn, L2 Imperium, and The Emperor Penguins, all having new releases today. And we're gonna talk about The Working Man. So this movie has a budget of 40 million. Will this movie break even? Again, this movie is doing actually okay internationally for once, which is a good sign. This movie only needs to make $30 million more to break even. Will it make $100 million domestically? We'll wait and see, obviously, because again, Hollywood is desperate for a box office success. They haven't had a box office success in such a long time as well, and they have had minor successes here or there. But A Working Man seems to be doing pretty well, at least as of now. So yes, we have updated this movie's numbers as well. And now it's time to update everyone's favorite movie of the year. I don't think anyone says that, but I don't. But I don't think it's a good movie. But it's Snow White. Yes, this movie is a huge, huge catastrophe. And we can compare it to the last huge Disney failure, which was the Marvels, all the way back in 2023. Also, another pleasing comparison is Dumbo, whereas that movie is performing still way worse than Dumbo. As current moment, Dumbo was still doing okay in its second weekend, despite competition from so many other movies, but it is outgrossing the Marvels at this current moment, so it will likely make more money than the Marvels at the very, very end. But this movie is not going to make that much more money. It crashed in its second week. It'll probably crash in its third week as well. And what's the most concerning thing is Disney is still in the negative 500 million for Snow White. Yes, this movie is at negative 532 million for Disney. Yes, that's a lot of money. That money, of course, Disney will make that up through merchandise, streaming, and digital and Blu-ray. But that will only make up so much money back. It's gonna lose money at the very end of the day, and no one likes this movie. No one likes Snow White. There was average IMDb score, and of course the mainstream media is calling it review bombing. That's all they ever do. They can't stand that this movie. No one likes it. This is considered Snow White. Yes, I do think 1.5 is a little bit harsh towards this movie, considering the fact that it's worse than infamously bad movies on IMDb, like Dragon Ball Evolution, obviously. But it's Snow White remake. No one likes this movie. And of course, the box office speaks for itself. Okay, the box office speaks for itself. Why this movie is doing so poorly. So yes, Razor Zegua, you may be a nasty A-bits, but your nasty A-bits is losing money at the box office. So then at The Chosen, Last Supper Part 1, yeah, they keep making these. Obviously, these are making money, obviously, but yeah, this movie is doing basically what is expected for the Chosen movies as well. Then we have The Woman in the Yard. This is another horror movie from Blumhouse. Again, not really doing too well for a Blumhouse production. As well, now, Blumhouse used to be the kings of horror movies. They used to be the kings of horror movies. And it just seems that they are now struggling at the box office. This is just the Hollywood as a whole. Hollywood is struggling to get people to go see the movies. Okay, for example, to put in Jenna Ortega and everything because he was popular on TikTok because of Wednesday. Which again, the only reason why people went to go watch Wednesday was because it was an IP movie, not because of Jenna Ortega. Okay, Hollywood acts like that some of these actors are so popular. The mainstream media does like, oh, these are such popular actors and actresses amongst Gen Z people, when really, with Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya, the only reason why the movies are successful is because of in tons of IP movies. Same thing with Jenna Ortega being in tons of IP movies. Most actors and actresses now don't really have much appeal nowadays, and proof of this comes from non-franchise movies continuing to do poorly at the box office. Non-IP, non-franchise movies. So yeah, next movie we're going to talk about is Death of a Unicorn. Yeah, speaking of Jenna Ortega, yeah, this movie's another huge failure. So they actually saw like 10 or 20, they kept advertising this movie on YouTube, but guess what? No one went to go see this movie. I thought Jenna Ortega was supposed to be the future of Hollywood. She was supposed to be, the future of Hollywood. She was supposed to, because she was in Wednesday, so people are going to go see it. It was going to be she was going to revolutionize. Finally, people will have Hollywood as an actor, so as actress, the people will say, up. Always the hard truth comes out. Almost no one cares about Jenna Ortega. Okay, and I know some people can say, hey, but it's a movie that might be for streaming. Either way, this movie is doing poorly in the theaters as well. It's doing very poorly in the theaters. Okay. And yeah, this movie, yeah, it's Death of a Unicorn is a huge failure for A24, which usually has successful movies, but not Death of a Unicorn or Jenna Ortega. Nope. Then we have Princess Mononoke, which is a re-release of an old Japanese animated movie. Because I think it's because it's anniversary, so or something like that, so they're re-releasing it. I think. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. And then of course we have Brave New World, which now has not really made much more money. It's basically dead internationally, and it will likely not pass $200 million domestically, and it's dropping and free falling at the box office as well. And next week we have the Minecraft movie coming out. Oh yeah, you have to remember Minecraft movies coming out next week, so that's gonna definitely get take off Captain America for sure out of the box office as well. Doesn't matter if the movie is considered good or bad by the critics, because the movie is still gonna make a decent chunk of money because kids are gonna go see it as well here. And really, this year there's a lot of video game movies coming. This year and next year there's a lot of video game movies coming out. You have the Minecraft movie. You have Until Dawn coming out. You also have The Last of Us 2. I don't think anyone cares about that. But also you have the FNAF 2 coming out. Mario 2 coming out next year. Here. But Captain America Brave New World is a huge failure at the box office. Okay. Not a huge failure, not as big as Snow White, but it's not doing too well still. It's doing as part of Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania. Okay. Unless the real budget is way bigger than $180 million, it's performing like Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania at the very least. Which is still not good for Disney. So then we have Black Bag, another huge box office failure as well. Again, Hollywood continues to struggle with non-franchise movies as well, and this movie isn't really doing too well in the US or internationally as well here. And yeah, this is why we said it was gonna be a terrible March, because that Snow White movie is releasing, and all of the other movies that are releasing are non-franchise movies, which typically do not draw in audiences like they did in the 90s and 80s. Next is Mickey 17. So, yeah, Mickey 17 is that. And yeah, don't be too surprised if Hollywood continues to make reboots, sequels, or remakes. It's funny that everybody says, "Wait, Hollywood's so unoriginal, Hollywood's so lazy. Why are you getting all these sequels, remakes, and reboots and, all of this stuff?" It's because people don't go see original movies. Okay? Past couple of months at the box office, I think further proves my point that people don't go see original movies at the box office. They don't really do too well, and Hollywood continues to struggle to get these movies to resonate with the modern audience, okay, which is Gen Z and stuff. And, you know, I know they always have what the modern audience doesn't matter, but the people who go see movies is the quote unquote modern audience. The current audience. It isn't the audience of the 90s who were willing to give movies like Jurassic Park and Jaws. Actually, the Jaws came out in the 70s. Jaws, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, and Ghostbusters a chance. And Mickey 17 released in the 90s, the movie would have made a lot of money because people were more willing to take risks as well. And really, it's Hollywood's fault that this is happening. Not my fault, not anyone else's fault. Hollywood's fault that this type of stuff is happening. The fact that Hollywood's going to likely lose the highest grossing movie of the year to China, which I think is be pretty embarrassing in itself for Hollywood. Now, Hollywood used to always have the number one movie in the world every year, and then now Hollywood doesn't have it this year. Okay? Yeah. But yeah, then we have Novocaine, which also isn't really doing too well at the box office, and no one is going to see Novocaine either. Another big box office failure as well. Again, I don't want to repeat myself, but again, guess what has in common with the last movie? Not part of a franchise. So, not part of an IP and not part of a franchise. So, yeah. Then we have Elb 2 Imperium. I think this is a Indian movie. It's doing okay. So, they have the Emperor Penguins, which isn't doing too well. The Penguin Lessons. This movie isn't doing too well either. As well, yeah. They have the Otto Knights, which is a huge box office failure for Robert De Niro, as well. So yeah, box office is still doing very poorly. It's still doing terribly as well. And yeah, they said this year they're 7% behind last year. I kind of find it hard to believe it's only 7%, considering how poorly a lot of these movies are performing. But yep, that's what this very, because considering the fact that by the same time Godzilla made 80 million in its opening weekend, Kung Fu Panda made at least 130 million as as well, 130 to 150 million. Dune 2 to $200 million. There was only like one movie that made $200 million this year domestically, and that was actually one movie that almost made $200 million, and that was Brave New World. And that movie couldn't even pass $200 million. And yeah, that's what this video here. Goodbye.